Hello everyone, this is the last part of the series dealing with the VBC Lightning FX. I will do one more video which will be like an overall review and track performance. But this video here, I'm just going to focus on the center damper, and I'm just going to talk about a few things with what I've experienced with building it. Overall, the damper built up really nicely, very smooth action. In order to attain that, I used green slime on the shock O-rings, and I just used the actual kit oil. That I think it's 350 CST. The internals built up nicely. Everything went well. Now, the only situation I encountered was the two contact points where the damper mounts here and here. I noticed that there was quite a bit of slop generated in between these 2 points, and ideally you don't want that whatsoever. You want to make sure that these 2 points here are nice and snug, but not binding. You want to make sure that when the damper is reacting to the chassis, it's reacting together with the chassis. There's no delay between the point that the chassis is shifting to when it hits the damper. It should be instantaneous. So what I've done to cure these 2 points of contact is with this part here, I just used a piece of plastic that was used, that came from the kit. And I just cut some of that off, and I popped this off, and I put the plastic on top of the ball, and then I pushed the actual piece back onto the ball, so it made it nice and snug. But you can see here, you can still rotate it a little bit. Now this part here, the kit pieces didn't work at all. There was a lot of slop in between there. I didn't like that, and so what I did is I just went ahead with one of Yokomo's ball ends and the ball itself, and that came off the Yokomo YRF 001. And yeah, everything's perfect. Just change that, and there's no slop whatsoever, and so that should definitely help out with the center dampening. Wiring, just quickly with the wiring, you want to make sure that the wiring is nice and free. You don't want it binding. You don't want it going underneath the tubes here. You want it nice and open and flowing. And that's pretty much it for this video. Like I said, later on I'll do a video regarding the build and overall performance, the track test, and yeah, I'll let you know later on. Oh, and by the way, one more thing. I tried using these for the battery mounts. They do work. These are from the Yokomo YRF, but they're a little bit too tall. They're a little bit too tall. And so what was happening, the body was actually touching these knurled nuts here. So I ended up just leaving them out, and I was able to run the body at the appropriate height. So anyway, that's something to consider if you're running a different body style. But to be honest with you, just using a wrench just to unscrew these 2 screws here, it won't take much time. To be honest with you, it's probably a lot quicker.